Welcome back to Wimbledon. It's really quiet here. I'm in a place called Finedon Pocket Park, and it was the first pocket park in the country. I think set up in 1984, and it's on the site of an old ironworks quarry. If you look behind me here, I don't know if you can see this, but this is where they used to load the ore, and it's 30 feet tall. It must have been so noisy back then, dropping, you know, hundreds of tons of ore down. And now it's just silent. And if I turn around here, you can see these, I don't know what they are. I'm sure that in 1,000 years, when archaeologists dig it up, they'll go, oh, it was a ritual. It was some kind of religious thing. But I'm trying to keep reasonably quiet because the birds in the background, there's a couple of long-tailed tits I've seen. I can hear wrens as well. Not seen much, but it's a bit damp as well. And this is interesting, right behind here. Look at this. It's a door. Now, it would have been something at one point, but it still is something, isn't it? It's a door. But look. It's locked. But, luckily for me, luckily for me, it doesn't go anywhere. So I can get through it, or round it, but it doesn't really go anywhere. It just comes to some of this, what they didn't quarry in the end. And then more of the, up there you've got these massive concrete walls, might not show up too well. But in the background here, in the distance there, over here, you can see this this great big loading bank. And like I say, it's amazing. It amazes me how quiet it is in here now. Because this was quarried for about 100 years. And they took millions, and I mean literally millions. I've been researching this for a bit of a feature film I'm doing. And there's a tunnel just up here. You can't get in it anymore, obviously, it's been blocked up. And it goes 4.5 miles to the next village, where it meets up with another load of tunnels, where they took out 12 million tons of ore. And that's just the ore. They had to remove all the limestone first. In the quarries, not in the mines, but in the quarries they had to take off all the limestone. So hundreds and hundreds of tons, of thousands, millions of tons of limestone had to be moved before they could get to the Ironstone. This is the Ironstone down here. This dark red stuff here, and it's absolutely rich with iron. It's obviously they needed to keep this bit in here. If you look just here and there, you can see an old piece of railway line, because they used railways, or tramways they called them. They were a narrow gauge. Not in this one they weren't, actually. In this one they were a full-sized trackway, railway. And they went down that way, about 4 miles, 3 miles, maybe 2, actually, down to Wellingborough, which isn't far away, obviously, 2 miles away. And it's a bustly little town, and it's, you know, noisy. But yeah, this is pretty special. Amazing. Look at the size of these things here. Look at the thread on that. Imagine whatever that held. You know, this is a massive. How big is that? It's 2 meters tall. Not quite. 1.5 meters tall by 1 meter square at the top. It must have been a massive thing. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them behind me, and then there's all these concrete things down on the floor down there as well. That would have been something. So yeah, it's quite an experience to come to places like this. And I think it was closed in the 1960s. I'm not 100% sure of the date, but closed sometime in the 1960s. And nature's taking it back. And like I say, in 1984, the local council, Finedon Town Council or Parish Council, whatever it is, they decided that they were going to make what they call a pocket park out of it. Because, I mean, you can't do anything with this now. This is a great big hole in the ground. Like I say, if you've taken millions of tons out, you'd have to put millions of tons back in again just to level it off. And just up behind me here, don't know if you can see, you probably can't, it's a bit bright, are people's gardens. So these houses butt onto the back of this, but the ground must be pretty secure, because the houses are just there, which means that obviously they're sitting on a, you know, next to a great big canyon almost. Which you really don't expect in the middle of England. So yeah, I'm going to continue wandering around. There's another one of them. What's that? That's 2 metres square, and again it's got these great big threaded bars sticking out the top there, so God knows what they had on there, some kind of loading equipment or something. But yeah, I'm going to keep on wandering around, and if I see anything more exciting than this, I'll film some more. See you soon. Okay, so I've gone a little bit further down the quarry, and over here you can see this brick structure, and you can get an idea of how tall the walls are just above it. You can see even on the top of it there, some of the rocks that have fallen off the wall, so it's not that secure. Down here is a piece of the railway track which is left, and then if we go in here, another door, and then what's in there? I haven't got a torch with me. Oh wow, look at this. Wow. Can I turn my torch on? Yeah, always on. Yeah, I can do. What is that? Wow, look at this. You can't get in there. Maybe that's the entrance to the tunnel that went over towards Wellingborough. And then there's puddles in the bottom here, look. Let's have another little wander along. Oh, I think I can spot something else over there. Oh, it's a bit damp underfoot. It's very damp underfoot. Yep, there's something else over here. Stay with me. Oh, squish, squidge, squidge. What is that? Wow. And we appear to have come to the edge of the quarry here, or the end. So the adit, or the shallow tunnel entrance, would have been in there somewhere, or it might even have been here. If you look, there's more brick, and then look at this. That is a huge piece of railway track. I mean, that's really heavy gauge stuff. Even got some of the connectors and ties and things on it, look. So yeah, obviously graffiti. Look at the size of that hinge. Look at that. I won't touch it too quickly, but look at that. That's a huge thing. There's something in the back there. Let's have a look. But it's obviously bricked up back there, and that's going in a good 3 or 4 metres there. It looks like it's got an iron. Yeah, look at this, an iron roof or something. Wow, the root's growing through. I suppose it'll collapse eventually. But yeah, amazing find this. Look at this here. That tree there just growing out the side of this brick there and goes all the way up there, look. So yeah, this is Finedon Pocket Park. If you're a local person, well worth a wander down here. You might want to put some boots on, wellies, something like that, to come and have a look at this piece of industrial history that's slowly vanishing. It's a bit of a pity, but time moves on, I suppose. Here's some more of those concrete platforms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're smaller. I don't really know what these are. Well, I didn't know what the last ones were either. But, you can see they've got reinforcing bars in them there. Obviously that's popped through now. Not been used for 40, 50 years. Looks like kids have made the den in that one. But these are bigger. Interesting stuff. And then behind it, as you can probably see there, this is the quarry side, and it is actually a footpath up there. There's somebody looking at me a bit strange, but there you go, one of those things. I'd assume that the tramway would have run along there somewhere, and then maybe loaded down onto here at some point. But I know as we go further along this way that we will actually reach a railway line. There's no line left, just the sleepers. So this is where the railway would have gone underneath the road. Now this road leads from Finedon to a village called Burton Latimer in that direction. But I've just spoken to a chap who was around at the time when they were just beginning to close these. And if we look up there, you can see it sort of goes inwards a little bit. And it's believed that there was another tunnel in that direction. But this leads down to, obviously you get the graffiti. Let's have a look. Oh, well that's nice, isn't it? What else have we got in here? Oh, a bumblebee, nice. Anything else? Anything that actually means anything? Some stuff up there that probably I don't want to film. She's not worth it. That's the anti-L'Oreal advert probably. Well, that's bright, isn't it? If nothing else. And oh, there's another glory hole there. Oh, look, and again, and again, and again. Though to be fair, it looks like someone's been taking on Banksy's mantle and using the what do you call it? The stencils, which is quite nice. Good to see he's having an effect, eh? Yeah, lovely. So that's the glory hole. I've come out of the quarry now. Still got quite high sides here and there, but that is more likely for this railway line or tramway track that used to carry the ore after 1941. The ore was taken down this track to a place further down called Cally Banks, or it's locally known as Cally Banks. And the reason it's called Cally Banks is because the iron ore obviously contains impurities. It's a sandstone with an iron content. So what they would do is they would put it into the train carriages and they'd bring it down this track here and they'd take it about 2 miles down there and they'd heat it up. They'd put it into a big kiln and they'd heat it up and using coal, and that would remove the moisture and impurities from it. So it took it from sort of 18% iron to something like 25%. Now I might be wrong with those numbers, but it's difficult to find out exactly what it was. Now it's not easy to walk over this, but can you imagine building it, digging all this out, putting all the gravel down, putting these great big concrete sleepers in, and then putting meters and meters of steel in, steel tracks. And the interesting thing is it was actually built pretty much by Italian prisoners of war at the end of, or in the middle of World War II, 1941, somewhere around there. Which is really interesting when you consider that they were grabbing iron out of this ground here, shipping it down to Wellingborough, down there, turning it into iron, pig iron, that then they would smelt and use to make weapons, which no doubt they would have been using against the Italians, as they were the enemy in the Second World War. So, interesting. Anyway, let's carry on. You can see the track continues, or the sleepers continue down there. And they continue all the way down to what we call the Cally Banks, which I've explained earlier. And then from the Cally Banks onto Wellingborough to be turned into iron. I was hoping to get down to the Cally Banks today, but I'm not going to get there. I've run out of time, got other things to do. So I'm heading back to the car just up here. You can see just down there, I think, you might be able to see there we go, that's where we were just walking a minute ago. And you can see how much higher I am. And I'm not even at the top yet, you know, this is the sides here. And this is just the cutting. The quarries are really, really deep. So yeah, why am I doing this? Well, I think the ironstone industry was a really important part of the British success story, if you want to call it that, of the Industrial Revolution. I'm from the north of England originally, and we all know about coal. It's kind of hammered into us when we were kids, you know, coal mining and all this, that and the other, and it was dangerous, you know, but this was just as dangerous, and just as lucrative as well for people who were doing it. Obviously not for your working man, he'd probably be paid a pittance, but I think the ironstone industry doesn't get recognised as much as it should do. The Industrial Revolution couldn't have happened without it. When coal started being mined, they needed trains to move it around. And how do you make a train? Well, you need iron. So the two go hand in hand. So yeah, I'll be doing more about these ironstone pits and quarries and mines, and the tramways that connected all of this around this area anyway, because it actually goes all the way down to Oxfordshire, up to Lincolnshire. So yeah, it's an interesting story. So keep locked, as they say, young people do, don't they? Locked on. I'll see you next time. I'm going to head back to the car now, and then I'll probably go down to the Callybanks another day. So thanks for watching. See you soon. Like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. I've had a lovely walk. It's been nice today. You can hear the planes overhead, but apart from that, and the crows for company, it's been nice. Met one or two people to say hello to. But yeah, it's a funny old season at the moment, isn't it? Right then, pack up and get home.